was started in Nazi Germany
That's not true.
be justified to harm people who were classified as non-white then. Yes, it was. They used IQ to justify putting people in concentration camps. Just say you can't.
Wait, IQ goes back to before the First World War. That's before Nazi Germany. Sanford Binet, the Binet test, that goes way back before the Second World War. But my point is this: if, as you believe, the ideas about racial superiority and inferiority are used to justify white dominance over blacks, why is it that anyone in the United States today who openly talks about racial differences in IQ and talks about the lower black IQ becomes a social pariah? Why?
Because it's not true. That's why, and it can be debunked.
What? But you say all the white supremacists believe it.
There before, but it can be debunked. That's the problem. See, that's what the classics. It can be debunked. Like, I heard you say that black people have a low IQ when there was nothing in Africa, and black people didn't have two-story buildings, and there was no will, and they couldn't tame beasts of burden. So all that stuff is so easily debunked. This is why people, a lot of times when they take these white extremists, we look at them as pariahs because that information is just not true.
Oh, but wait. If it is not true, and everyone knows it's not true, then okay, maybe there are a few benighted goofballs like me who haven't got the message yet, but if it's generally accepted as not true, then that completely blows apart the justification for white supremacy, right?
No, it doesn't, because enough people believe that. Enough people believe it's true. And the people who want to believe it's true are the white supremacists, because that's part of the religion of white supremacy.
Okay.
Anything negative about black people to justify the mistreatment and dominance.
Okay, and those people are the most powerful people in the world.
White supremacists.
Okay. Then if the most powerful people in the world believe this, surely one of them, or maybe even two of them, perhaps even three of them, would have come to James Watson's assistance when he started talking about race and IQ. Why? How come not one of them put his head above the parapet and said, "Hey, Watson's right"?
Well, they might not have done it publicly, but there's an old saying that white supremacists don't get fired; they get transferred. So they probably.
Yeah. Oh, I've never heard it before.
Okay, never heard that one yet. White supremacists don't get fired; they get transferred. He's fine. He's somewhere. Somebody's taking care of him. Whenever a white person does something and they get fired or they get called a pariah, they get money raised somewhere. Somebody's gonna look out for them. So the white supremacists, they know not to let one of their own fall.
I hate to break in here for a second, but didn't we have a black president for the last 8 years? If you're saying that the only people in charge are white people, how do you explain Obama being our president for the last 8 years?
He's a pet. He's a mascot.
He knows that. Hey, Jared knows that. When you put a black person in position, listen, when you put a black person, when the white supremacists will elevate a black person, there are two rules, and these rules have never faltered. Number one, you do not punish white people. And number two, you do not help black people in large numbers. And Obama did not do either of those things, so he's fine.
It seems like Trump has actually helped black people more. You know, recently it said Trump has the lowest African-American unemployment rate, and the African-American Democrats, they wouldn't even stand for that.
Because I put him there, that's why. Because I put him there.
That's a lie. The unemployment rate, they've increased. That's a complete lie. But deception is white supremacy. But, you know,
well, I wanted to ask one question that keeps coming up in the chat. So people keep asking, and this question is for Tariq, and then Jared, you can respond. They say, if Black Lives Matter, why is there so much black on black crime, and why is there such a substantial amount of blacks doing crime and murder to other blacks?
That's a lie. There is not black people doing a lot of crime. The only high crime,
like Chicago, for example.
That's it. Chicago is the go-to place because there is no black crime in large numbers anywhere else. That's another lie. They used to justify black people in large numbers. Black crime rates are not high because black crime rates have always been the same. There's nothing unique about black crime rates. Isn't that right, Jerry?
You're wrong about that. No, black crime rates are very high, not just Chicago, in Baltimore, in Washington, in New York.
But why are the black crime rates high?
Oh, I think you know very well what the answer about that question is.
I just stole
I think
stuff the other day, so I can't. with all of the smoke and stuff in my house. So go ahead.
To me, it's much more interesting that you genuinely appear to believe that the black violent crime rate is no higher than the white rate. Let's just leave it at that, because you appear to believe that, and I find that fascinating. But I think there's other things that are actually rather more interesting. But wait.
But the black crime rate has always been high because blackness is itself a crime. Being a black person, more things are illegal if you're black. It's always been like that. Black crime rate goes back, it's been high since the early 1900s.
Okay, so when a black person kills another black person, that's because being black is a crime?
No, because most people who are in jail are not in jail for murder. They're in jail for nonviolent drug offenses.
I'm talking about the murder rate.
Because that's very rare that black people commit high crimes of murder. We don't commit murder like that. That is a lie. That's
a lie. Okay. And the black unemployment.
If that's the case, most black people would be in jail for murder. Black people are not in jail for murder for the most part. We're talking they're in there for nonviolent drug offenses.
Wait. So, okay, the statistics that come out of overwhelmingly black cities that suggest a high murder rate are a lie, as is the statistics about the black unemployment rate. That too is a lie?
The black unemployment rate is high because
wait. You said
white supremacists control the jobs, so that's always been high.
But no, didn't you tell me that when Baked Alaska earlier said that the black unemployment rate is at a record low under Trump, you said that was a lie, right?
Yeah, because black unemployment rate is high. It's always been high. The black unemployment rate has always been high.
Well, wait, but then are you or aren't you disputing Donald Trump's claim that it is lower now than when it was under Obama?
No, it's still high. It's high now. It's high. The unemployment rate is high. I mean, y'all can try to spin it any way you can,
but it's lower than it's ever been in history. I think is the
no, point. It's not. That's not true. That's more. I'm white, and I say so. But Jared, why are black people so violent? Why are black people violent?
Okay, you want the answer to that question?
I do. I want to know the answer.
It's a combination of low average IQ and high serum testosterone combined with a lesser ability to defer gratification. Because the combination of low IQ and high testosterone, no matter what the race of the person, makes a man more likely to commit crimes, primarily of violence, but other crimes as well. Furthermore, an inability to defer gratification. And you can prove this if you take a group of white children, a group of black children, and you say to them, you have a choice of either 1 marshmallow now or 3 marshmallows a half an hour from now. Asian children are more likely to say, well, I'll wait and I'll get the 3 marshmallows. Then the Asian are the most likely, then comes whites, then comes blacks. Black children want that 1 marshmallow now, even if it means they don't get 3 marshmallows in a half an hour. That kind of mentality of being unwilling to sacrifice now for the future lends itself to a kind of smash and grab mentality that makes people more likely to commit crimes. So it's a combination of those 3 things, and you find
being in a system where you're systematically deprived of things, because black people are systematically deprived of resources in every area of activity.
Then why are the violent crime rates so high in African countries as well? Why are they high? Why are they high in Haiti?
That's a complete bald-faced lie.
Okay, another lie. All right, sorry.
A week or so ago, the crime rate there is damn near non-existent. In many African countries, the crime rates are extremely low, so that's not true, sir. But,
sorry, yet another lie, yet another white supremacist lie.
There's a lot of lies going on here.
Yeah, a lot of lying going here.
Jared, okay, well, shit.
What's that?
Okay, let me ask you, Jared. If black people, if we do have a lower IQ, and we can't defer gratification and health, you're making some very good points that the testosterone level has an effect on the brain based on the environment, and black people are genetically, we're just born violent. What should white people do to black people?
To black people? Well, I don't think white people should do anything to black people. And I think that the races are better off living separately. And it sounds to me as though you would agree with that, insofar as white people are incurably white supremacist. Wouldn't you be better off with your own independent country away from the influence of all these wicked white people.
Every time black people do try to do that, the white supremacists come over there, take over the country, and drain the resources. So where are we going to go in a global system of white supremacy, Jared?
There's just no way out for you poor guys.
Where do we go? Where do we go that's not dominated by white supremacy?
Well, if you assume that the entire world, including the North Pole and Antarctica, are dominated by white supremacy, then you're right. You're out of luck.
But I'm asking a serious question. Where do black people go? If we're going to have an ethno-black state, an ethno-white state, where can black people go where we will not be dominated by white supremacy? Where?
Okay. If you then grant that it is theoretically possible for blacks to have a country of their own, whether it's in North America or in Africa or in Haiti, then the proper solution would be to find some kind of division within the United States. And so blacks should have their territory where they can be whatever it is their destiny is to be.
But when
believe me.
When black people try to do that, the white supremacists destroy it, Jared.
Wait. No. In the case of Liberia, white people were very happy for the Liberians to establish Liberia. They helped them go. They did their best to make it a success. It was the Liberians who ended up making it not work. And when Marcus Garvey wanted to send his people to Liberia, it was the Liberians who told him, no, we're not interested in you, Marcus. We have our own little place here. We don't want you coming to dominate us. There would have been plenty of white people who would have said, Marcus, take your boys and go.
Well, in Liberia, they just dropped off a bunch of people who had no connection with the land and they didn't give them any resources. So that created a conflict. So you just can't drop off somewhere. They didn't have a connection with Liberia. You just drop people off who were born and raised here generation after generation and just drop them off into some random land and then say, okay, go at it. Of course there's going to be conflict. If you take white Americans and drop them off where there's going to be a conflict.
No, I'm not talking about conflict. In fact, once the Liberians established themselves as top of the heap, there was a certain amount of conflict, but they established a country. And wait. What? And the white people were happy for them to go. The people of the American
dominated Liberia. The white dominated Liberia. They dominated the economy there.
Well,
and they still do dominate the economy over there.
Of course, in your view, white people dominate the economy of the moon.
I'm just talking about facts, sir. They dominate the economy, the banking, all of the resources over there, all through West Africa. So I'm talking real talk here. Where can we go?
Well, if you believe, you must have a very, very high regard for white people. You must think white people are the cleverest, most accomplished manipulators in the history of the world. White people are only about 15% of the population, and they dominate the world. They control everything.
Where should black people go?
Don't you guys have like an entire continent called Africa? Isn't that?
No, that's dominated. He just told us. That's completely under the thumb of the white man.
I mean, where are white people supposed to go? I think that's probably better.
Europe.
Europe.
Go back to Europe.
That's been flooded with refugees.
It's not that fun. But the refugees are going there because you took the resources out of Africa over there. So where are we going to go? See, I want a solution. This is why this is white supremacy, the religion. There's this religion. There's no end. There's no beginning. This whole purpose. Okay. Let's practice white supremacy as a perpetuity, and let's pass the collection plate around. Because now we're talking about.
Is there such a thing as black supremacy? Is there Asian supremacy? Is it exclusive to white people?
You cannot have two supremes. That's a contradiction of terms. It's
okay.
Can I have?
No. So I do have a question. You said that not.
What should be done with black people? I do not want to dance around that because y'all talking about.
I told you. I think.
Where? We talking logistics. See, we're throwing out these open-ended things that's basically rhetoric, but there are no real logistics behind it. Like, let's go back to Africa. That's rhetoric. Where can we go? Seriously.
Well, I don't have a particular part of the United States that I think should be set aside for black people. But I think if we started talking about race in a serious way, we would recognize that blacks and whites have tried to live together for 400 years, and it's not working out.
So
if this were a marriage, it would be.
You are in power. You
No,
are.
please let me finish.
I just want to answer. I don't want to filibuster now because I really want a real answer.
Well, I don't have a particular place in mind, but if we were to agree that that is the solution, we could certainly work something out. It would be not difficult at what?
Let's work it out right now. What should we work out? Where should we go?
Oh, there might be parts of the South that should be exclusively black. There might be, that would probably be the obvious place. I think the question of the details of where to go are less than that. What's that?
Here, we've done that. Where black communities in the South and the white supremacists just go and destroy them. They just go and say, hey, a black person raped a white woman.
Wait,
burn them off. They've always done that, sir.
wait. They have not always done that. They sent, black people were sent to Africa with the blessing of the whites.
No, they weren't.
Sierra Leone, let me finish, please. Sierra Leone was started by freed black people who were freed by the British and the slave trade with their blessing. And they said,
because the British were fighting, they were fighting for the British, and the British set it up to them. Let's talk.
No, they were not fighting for the British. If the British found any kind of slave trade going on, they had abolished slavery within the empire in 1835. And if they caught people who were in a slaver ship, they would take them to Sierra Leone and they would say, here you go, you guys are free, make the most of it.
Freetown.
White people have what? Yes, Freetown. That's exactly the name of the place.
Why was it called Freetown?
Because they were freed from the transatlantic, of course. And the point is, they were given the blessing of white people to go and do what you wish to do. The same for decolonization. Colonization in Africa lasted from maybe in the mid 1800s to 1960, maybe a century's time. And when black people said, look, we are tired of being colonized, get out. The British left, the French left, eventually the Portuguese left. They all said, okay, you want to run the show, you can run the show. White people are perfectly happy for black people to be where they are and run the show.
You're not. No, that's not true. You drop them off, don't give them any resources after raping them for centuries. Don't give them resources, then control their economy. You're not letting them be themselves. Just like in Zimbabwe, just like in Haiti, they have trade sanctions on all of these.
Trade sanctions. Look, there is an enormous amount of foreign aid to Haiti and to Africa. What is this? You think this is a big lie too? You think that the billions that have been
they rape the oil and the gold out of Haiti and drop off a bag of rice? That's foreign trade. That's rape, sir. I know about Haiti. I was just over there. They're raping Haiti. They're not helping.
There is no gold. There is no oil in Haiti.
Okay.
No gold.
I'm like not saying.
If you were there and you found gold and oil, then you should be a rich man.
Sir.
Wait, why is there even, why is there even a penny of aid to any of these countries? Why would the white supremacists give even a penny of aid?
Because they took the resources out of them, especially Africa. In Africa, they drained the resources out of.
Wait. And they feel guilty? Why the aid?
Like guilty aid, you put up a pretext of you doing something positive, but you're still raping the country.
But why would they even bother to pretend they're doing something good?
You take the resources and go in, you send the missionaries in and say, hey, look, I'm your friend, I'm bringing food. And the missionaries and the military, they always work hand in hand. You send them the missionaries first, and then once you get a foothold in there, here comes the military, taking the gold, filled with the cobalt, the diamonds, and everything else. You will not allow black folks to have an ethno-black state because we're in a global system like the president, sir. So it's just circular rhetoric, Mr. Taylor, sir.
Wait. No,
you're practicing the religion of white supremacy. It's the open-ended white supremacy, sir.
What's the solution to this open-ended white supremacy? What's the solution?
If I knew the solution, I would be putting it on billboards right now. Black people have not figured out how to not be dominated by white supremacy. The problem is, unfortunately, a lot of black folks don't even realize we're in a global system of white supremacy. That's the sad thing. I kind of realize it, but I'm in the minority. And this is why the white supremacists are so powerful.
Okay. Now, you realize white people are probably only 15% of the population of the world.
No, they're less than that. You're 8% of the population of the world.
Okay, 8%, that's fine. And yet, this 8% manages to dominate the entire globe.
Yes.
How come?
Because the white supremacists were smart enough to use deception in a way that has never been used before. Black people across the planet, they've been used to this honor system with dealing with each other, and they have not realized that because most people, well, not most, the whole planet was black at one point.
Really?
It was.
North America, South America?
Yes, absolutely. Look at the Yndks statues down in South America. Even in Britain, they just came out with a story talking about Cheddar Man, who was a black people up in modern Britain. So we dominated the planet.
The whole planet?
The whole planet.
Okay, great.
Did you guys, are you, Tariq, sorry to interrupt, do you believe the theory that you guys, black people, built the pyramids? Is that true?
Yes, of course.
Who else built them? Who else built them? Who else built them? 3,000.
You believe you were Yndks? Is that true?
Who built the pyramids 3,000 years ago?
Well, as a matter of fact, let me answer this question.
Go ahead.
They have just done a set of DNA tests on ancient Egyptian mummies. They tested a set of mummies. Oh, now you're going to tell me the results were lies because they're white people who did it, and it's all white supremacist baloney. So it's just like crime rates. It's just like the unemployment rate. All white supremacist lies.
Put it out, make it believe. Come on.
I don't even have to spit it out. You already tell. Okay, look.
No,
what they found was this. They tested mummies from between 1380 BC until 425 AD. And they found that the DNA of these people is very closely related to the ancient people of present-day Israel, Jordan, Syria. That these were Middle Eastern people. Today's Egyptians, which I don't know if you would call them black, but today's Egyptians have some black admixture, but that admixture showed up about 700 years ago. The people who built the pyramids were by no means sub-Saharan Africans, and that has been clear for years.
Or even the paintings, the statues, all of it showed that they were, even over in the so-called Middle East where you say they originated from, how come there are not 3,000-year-old structures in a similar manner there?
Well, why should there be? I mean, you just happen to, what?
The ones that... You're trying to say a group of people left where they came from.
No, I'm not saying they left there.
Went to another country, built up all these structures and didn't do it where they were from.
Well, they did it where they happened to be when they had the resources and the idea to do it. Of course, within the Middle East, there were these enormous ziggurats and the Babylonian hanging gardens. They had quite an accomplished civilization there as well. But my point is,
now you got pyramids down in Ethiopia and other parts of southern Africa. You have stone structures, but in the Middle East, you don't have 3,000-year-old statues even remotely close to what was in Egypt. So this whole theory that they were building stuff in Africa that they didn't build in the country of origin makes sense.
I'm not saying it's the country of origin. The point is they are genetically similar to the people of that area who built the ziggurats and the hanging gardens and the Colossus of Rhodes and all of that sort of thing. Those are the people.
So-called Middle East, that was just another satellite of Africa. All of that stuff was controlled by Africa. These were black African people. So that's just what it is.
Okay, and so you're telling me that the entire globe was dominated by Africans, and they had this honor system by black people, and they had this honor system. They were trusting, wonderful, simple friends of the earth, and then along came these white people, and they, although they're a tiny minority, they tricked and hoodwinked and deceived them into a status of inferiority. Is that your view?
Yes, they did.
Okay. Wow. Now, where did the white people come from? Were they created by a guy on Patmos, Yaqub? Did Yaqub cook them up?
I look at it from a scientific standpoint. The white supremacists came out during the Warmian Ice Age. This is when the people who are classified as white now were depigmented because they were in the Warmian Ice Age and they lost the melanin being stuck in the ice. And the nose became alkaline, the lips became thinner. They became normal to protect the neck because of the heat thing. So there's a scientific reason for it. Not to say anybody's inferior or superior. There's scientific adaptations to the body that causes people to become inferior. So that's
okay. So there were black people everywhere, but white people. Now, then, where did white people appear from?
He's a great fucking troll.
I think I'm actually a fan of Tariq Nasheed now. I think I'm actually going to start checking out his content.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess he's making movies and doing all sorts of shit out there.
Yeah. Someone said if Tariq. Yeah. Sorry, I gotta pound these super chats, dude.
Oh, come on, knock yourself out, Worski.
Well, I'm just gonna read one. It said if Tariq really is doing a 24-hour op, I could believe it. I mean, if you control millions of people for as long as you want, wouldn't you do it too?
I absolutely would. If I could fuck with people nonstop for years and years and years, holy shit, yes, I would. It would be too good to pass that up.
Well, I think that's what you're pretty much already do.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not that committed. I haven't made an account where I'm a complete retard and then convinced everybody I'm a complete fucking retard and then ran with it for 3 years.
Yeah. Let's see. So, we had a lot of comments. Basically, most people said Tariq did not say one true fact the entire stream.
Yeah, the back and forth between them was really something else. I like the stream. I think the audience did too. I think people watching really enjoyed it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, I felt bad because I am trying to be unbiased in a way, but I just could not stop laughing. Like, I had to turn off the camera during part of it because it was just so fucking hilarious. It was just too much, man.
One last thing, and I'll hop out and let you pound through your super chats.
All right.
Because I was listening to his quotes as he went through this. I mean, aside from saying that my dick is a weapon of mass destruction shit, the one line that really made me think this guy has to be fucking around.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it because I quoted it as best I could.
You might need to make a video like, someone needs to investigate and be like, is Tariq Nasheed actually a troll? Because I feel like this is.
Oh yeah, it was when he said when you're talking about crime rates, not just black crime rates in America, but when Taylor brought up, he was talking about African crime rates, like in Africa and Haiti and stuff. Yeah, Tariq said they're non-existent. That Africa is like a crime-free zone and Haiti is a fucking paradise.
Yeah.
Man, nobody is that fucking retarded. That was way going on.
Well, you gotta watch this movie, Jim. You gotta check out, 1480 or was it 14?
No, you got it right. Yeah, 1488. That's the movie that.
1408Haiti.com or something. And apparently he said he just visited Haiti and it's all beaches. It's all it's not a shithole country.
It's a paradise. I think Tariq Nasheed should move to Haiti and live in paradise. Why?
Yeah. That's where their ethno state is. It's over there.
In beautiful Haiti with clean water and nice cities and no pollution or crime. It sounds like a fucking paradise. It's utopia.
Oh yeah. Well, I have one question for you before you leave. So I have another pretty crazy stream lined up for Saturday. Have you heard about my Saturday stream?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so that Andy gassed them all.
You mentioned super chats, and so he immediately went down.
How did I miss this?
Oh, dude, you missed the craziest stream ever, bro.
I have to watch that. Jesus.
It's gold, man. It really is. It's fucking gold.
I thought it was the fucking troll. I'm like, yeah, right, Tariq.
Dude, everyone. When I announced this, there was like no one in the waiting room. There was like only 200 people because they were all like, dude, this is. Stop trolling us, Bake. Like, this is not a real. You did not actually get these two people on, but I've had luck. I don't know what it is. We started with the Lore Loomer versus Jim, and then I got Tariq versus Jared Taylor. I think I have a knack for bringing people together. But Saturday, I was going to ask you, Jim. I have Andrew Anglin versus Sargon book. That's in 2 days.
Okay.
But. Other people are saying, Sargon might not show up. So what is your take? Do you think he's gonna? I mean, I've had this booked for like weeks.
Well, here's my thing. I've been on Worski's case because there was supposed to be the Yndks, Spencer versus Sargon and somebody else. But now, from what I understand, Worski, didn't you say he bailed on your second debate?
Yeah, I've actually rearranged the debate with Spencer versus V.
So what was the justification? What was the reasoning you were given for why he's not showing up?
Honestly, I just told V to message Sargon because of all that shit he was saying. Remember when he was going off a little bit on the alt-right? So I asked V to message him, and if he said no, that I'd get V versus Spencer, and then I think V brings someone else, might get like Mike Enoch or something to be with Spencer. And then V messaged me right now, actually, a few hours ago, and he just said, "All right, I'll do it." So I'm assuming he spoke to Sargon and.
No, Worski, if you wanted to get him on stream, do you have any dopamine available? Maybe that would get Sargon to show up. Because I hear that he needs more dopamine. That's what I've heard. I don't know.
It's kind of hard to get into debate now.
If Sargon, I booked this weeks ago. If Sargon does not show up, I'm going to say that his ideology must be, tanking right now. If he's canceling debates left and right, he says he's the king of debates. So as far as I know, I've emailed him, and so this Saturday we're doing it in the morning, so it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're having Sargon versus Andrew Anglin. That's gonna be a bloodbath. We'll definitely need, if you guys want to come on for the post show, we'll definitely need you guys to do that. But I don't know if Sargon's gonna show up, man.
Has he confirmed with you at all, Baked?
Yeah, he confirmed.
Oh, so maybe it's still on then.
But he confirmed this was a week ago. So
so before the
but he never canceled. So as far as I know, it would be bad form because I told him the time. I confirmed by email. This wasn't like a tweet or anything. It's by email. It's on his calendar. He said so. We'll see. Real quick, someone said check the comments. Apparently, they said Tariq made a 14 video of this stream. He and his fans all think you sabotaged his stream. Because I don't know if you saw, Jim, but in the beginning, so Tariq was streaming on his site as well, but then his stream stopped working, so he had to stop. So wait, apparently,
who sabotaged it?
They're accusing me of sabotaging Tariq's stream. So apparently, I was hacking his YouTube channel or something. I don't know.
Google Hangouts is kind of a pile of shit. It can be real finicky, so I might err more on the side of Google being shit than you being a super hacker.
It was the white supremacists.
That's right. They did it. They did it for the ethno state. That's what the hackers are all into nowadays.
Yeah, how bad did Tariq stink? I know he stinks, but how bad?
I thought it was funny. I really enjoyed the shit out of the stream. It was entertaining as fuck.
No, I'm sure it was fucking entertaining as hell, but as in terms of debate.
Well, you want me to give you a summary real quick, Worski?
Yeah, go ahead. Give us the quick rundown for people that didn't see it.
Oh, okay. Well, China is apparently a white supremacist nation that serves white people. Everybody was black until some ice turned us white. Let's see. There's no crime rates. Black on black crime doesn't exist. Africa is a paradise. Haiti is amazing. Also, black people's dicks are weapons of mass destruction that can end the world if they swing them around properly.
No, he did not say that.
Yeah,
he did. Oh, pretty much word for word, yes. Black dicks are weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah, Jim tweeted out that clip already, I think.
This guy has to have some special needs or something. A little bit of special needs.
Maybe I forget how Jim phrased it before, but it was someone who, a 10-year-old who has just learned one thing from a history class and just I don't know, man. It was bad.
Yeah, Taylor was smiling a lot. I will jump to let you do your super chats there,